Hello and welcome to another DBC presentation. Before I begin, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners and custodians of the land on which we meet today, the peoples of the Kulin Nation. I pay my respects to their elders, past and present. This session is all about how to get more work from existing clients. We're often asked to tell people how to get better clients. There's the old adage about 80% of your work's going to come from 20% of your existing clients. And that's exactly where you should start. If you want to get more work, you start with your existing clients. So the question is, how do we get better work from our existing clients? And that's what we want to look at today. We often present this as part of our programs that we run, the 3 monthly sessions that we put together to help designers improve their business. It's an amazing tool that once you get your head around it and start using it, you'll find it's going to have a hell of a big impact on your business. At the end of the day, it's all about value. What clients want is value. They're looking to you to tell them how they can increase the value of what they do by using design. So you need to actually understand where the value sits for them and then how design can add value within those values that they are generating for their own business. So we start by using the design ladder. What we do is to take a look at the clients that we've got and position them on the design ladder. And what we're talking about here is the typical client that fits around about step 3. This is where they're seeing design as a consultancy. Levels 1 and 2, they're really just looking at design as either a commodity on level 1 or it is delivering a bit of consultancy on level 2. What we're looking to do is to identify those clients who operate at level 3. And once we've identified those clients, what we do is then take a look at their design value chain. And we do analysis on this. So the value chain is a thing that was developed by a guy called Michael E. Porter, a Harvard University professor. He developed this model quite some time ago. We've latched on to it. We've added R&D to what he had. And so we've identified 10 activities. These are not departments, they're activities that happen within any business. And what we've done is to say, designers really need to understand their client's business and where the clients can have value added through the use of design. So it's a double-edged thing, understanding the value the client adds in those activities and then work out where we can add design value. So let's start with inbound logistics. This is the area that sees the raw materials delivered into the business. So here, this fits very well with a manufacturing business, somebody who produces some sort of physical product. Where can design assist in inbound logistics? There's the user interface for digital tracking of the materials as they're coming into the business. The trucks themselves that do delivery can be mobile billboards. That's the type of thing where you would suggest that your client cooperate with their suppliers to jointly badge the delivery trucks so that they're billboards for both of them. There's also some design thinking that can go into the whole idea of just in time, the movement of goods at the right time, delivery in the right place, and the systems that can be put in place to do that. Again, usually something like a user interface in some type of digital product. Operations is the internal activity that converts the materials that are brought into the business ready for production. And it's the factories and the production end of the business. So there's obviously always internal communications that are needed to make sure that people understand where they fit in the whole workflow. There's also the user interface for process management. There's the product design itself, and there's the packaging of the product. So there's a whole lot of areas that designers can get involved in the operational side of it. Outbound logistics is that once the goods have been produced, they're shipped out to the wholesalers or retailers. Again, this is user interface for digital tracking. The trucks are mobile billboards because the trucks are usually owned or subcontracted specifically to the company, so they can be mobile billboards. There's also putting some design thinking into how you record the whole activity of the movement. So this is the integration of the inbound logistics, the movement through production and operations, and then the delivery out to the wholesalers or retailers. Marketing and sales is the very obvious one because that's usually where designers find themselves. There's customer research, areas like empathy mapping, value proposition, customer journey mapping, and the obvious collateral production. You're probably already partly into those if you're examining this client, but have you actually got into the customer research and the empathy mapping and the value proposition, the workshops that help the client work out what the value proposition is? That's usually linked out of things like customer journey mapping. Service is the activity that deals with your client's customers. So again, it's the design thinking that needs to go in and the customer journey mapping. It's the analysis of the customers. It's the web user interface that handles issues that people come up with as part of service. And then there's customer retention. How do you use design to assist with customer retention? And that links itself back into the customer journey mapping. Infrastructure, this is an odd sounding name of an activity, but actually it refers to the CEO's suite, the C-suite, and it's where all of the legal and financial activities tend to happen. It's out of there that you're developing a corporate culture and you're defining the brand. So this is obviously very key to where a designer can help, and obviously also where a designer needs to get in and get influence. Research and development is the one that we've added that's not apparent on the original value chain, but we consider it part of the design value chain. This is where you look at design being integrated from product development through to customer service. So how is R&D going to help this business develop new products and then integrate the design of those products and their progress through the company all the way through to customer service? HR is a big area for design. There's the obvious hiring, things like as mundane as they are, but the assets that are needed for advertising positions. There's the induction program, which obviously will be benefiting from design. There's the internal communications that need to be constant and coming out of HR. HR is generally involved in training as well, so there's all of the training programs that need to be developed and all need design. And then there's the employee journey mapping. If you've learnt to do customer journey mapping, you can do employee journey mapping. And that's very much linked back into induction. So they're new areas perhaps for some designers, but they're definitely areas where you could be selling additional services to your client. Technology, there's obviously the user interface and their digital products. There's the website, and then there's usually an intranet user experience, UI, that needs to be designed. So a heavy involvement for designers there. And procurement is a strange one, but it is increasingly becoming that way that good businesses recognise they need to work with their suppliers cooperatively rather than just simply trying to screw them for a cheap price. So there's supplier communications, And then there's the product design collabs that need to be run so that their suppliers, your client's suppliers, are producing better products all the time. They're producing products less expensively, part of which then gets passed on to your client. So your client being involved in the whole procurement process is to their benefit, and that's where design can play a big part in that. That's how you do it. You need to break down in that way, with all of those activities, what it is that your client is doing, where they're adding value, and where you can add design into those value points so that you actually increase the amount of work you're doing for your clients, but you're improving your client's business. Thank you very much. Please register for our newsletter. Just jump into the designbusinesscouncil.com and there's a registration there. Just jump in. We're giving lots of these free hints each week in our newsletter. Hope to see you there. Thanks very much.